Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, welcome to Mama's Life. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have my friend and neighbor joining us, Miss Randy. Hello.
Hi.
And we are going to be talking about uh, rudeness, customer service, or lack thereof, and things like that. And what better time to be talking about this during the holidays when it seems to get even worse. But I want to thank you for joining us, and I think I would like to start on the outside.
On the outside.
And I want to start with like Walmart,
Okay.
the big chain stores. But I want to start on the outside first, the parking lot.
Yes, that's a good point. Because it starts there.
Yes. And so everybody, we're all human. We make mistakes. Sometimes we're in a daze and we're just not thinking.
Everybody has bad days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But all I see every time I go to a Walmart or a Target or just a big chain store with a good sized parking lot.
Yeah.
People are, those who are walking, they just think they're king of the road and they don't have to watch for cars.
Agreed. I always feel like they have just the motto of pedestrian has the right of way, pedestrian has the right of way in their head, and then they just play that and use that as an excuse to completely jump over manners and taking turns or sharing this life.
Exactly.
Space. Yeah.
That's true. And I mean, I've seen people being not so nice to elderly people. And I've seen people walk away and just cuss out somebody.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when you're walking in these parking lots, you need to pay attention. You need to watch for cars backing out because they're not always going to see you.
Well, and every car has a blind spot. So,
exactly.
You know what I mean? You're taking a chance. You're not defensively, you're not doing your part as a pedestrian if you're not waiting and looking. And what life are you living if you're not paying attention to your surroundings?
Exactly.
In general.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have people who are driving, they feel the same as the pedestrian. They've got the right of way. People need to watch out for me.
Yeah.
And that's not true either.
My brake lights are on and I'm getting ready to back out.
Exactly.
And it's, what's the, I guess.
And look at the people that walk down the middle. They literally walk down the
parking lot.
Yes.
I cannot stand that. I almost said hate, but I'm teaching my child not to say that word. I've noticed that too. Because growing up, I was taught, and I remember seeing everybody else, you walk down the right side. If you see a car that's about to back out, you stop and you wait. And I go to Trader Joe's now. That's mostly where I go. Trader Joe's or Target. I've seen a lot at Trader Joe's specifically.
Yeah.
Just walking right down the middle in between both sides of the cars. Right down the middle. And I'm like, that's not normal. When did we start doing this?
Yeah.
Because I just don't get it.
I see it all the time. And, but a lot of it's unfortunately, it's usually younger people than me. It's not like the elderly. The elderly seem to have enough sense to know to walk. Right.
Yeah.
And, and you also walking close to one of the sides, you also have to watch for the cars, see the tail lights. The bottom line is everyone needs to do their part to be safe in the parking lot. I have seen so many bad accidents that luckily was avoided.
Yeah.
But you can avoid them by
so many close calls these days because of the behavior. Yeah.
Exactly. So Then let's go in. I want to talk about Walmart specifically now.
Well, let's talk about going in.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because there's a whole new issue there.
Yes.
A big issue. Because, and whether there are even manners that you should usually keep, even if they have automatic doors. But I don't see people holding doors open for people anymore.
Mm-mm.
Almost very rarely. Most of the time, if a door's held open for me, it's usually a male who's probably 20 years older than I. So, was brought up with even more manners than I was, or my generation was. I would say my parents and grandparents did a great job of teaching me manners and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's about it. And it's only if I'm really close to the door. And you have people trying to walk out with stuff in their hands, or I have seen a woman struggling for 5 minutes to get her stroller in a door while people just walked past her and went through the other door. That's just crazy to me.
Because everyone is in too big of a hurry, because their life is, and what they've got going on is so important. They've got to get in that store. I think we live in a drive-through generation, meaning they just want to,
get in, get out, have it quick.
Fast food.
Yeah.
Like a fast food window. Get in, get out. Let's go and forget anybody else. And not everyone is like that.
No.
But we see it more than it should.
Yeah. And that reflects itself in if you notice, and this started before COVID, so it's not just a COVID thing, but I've noticed that you don't have girlfriends browsing Target for fun like you used to. It'd be like, oh, let's go get some coffee and just browse Target. If we find something, we find something. If not,
let's check the clearance.
Yeah,
let's
go walk around. It'll be we'll hang out, and if we find something, we find something. You don't see that much anymore. Also, you don't see mall rats.
Yeah,
which was what I did as a teen, is just hung around at the mall. And those were some great summers. It was fun.
It's a lot of fun to go, especially to the mall, and go just shop and then, but even like at Target, you can sit over there and have coffee and
you don't see anybody just slowing down and enjoying themselves, like you said. And that
it's okay to slow down, people.
It's important to slow down.
Exactly.
It's important.
We need to, like you said earlier, we need to be aware of our environment, our surroundings, and we need to appreciate our surroundings.
I cannot believe the way things have changed so quickly. I'm sure that you've been there before, maybe in your 30s, you're like, holy crap, things are changing, or this is changing. But is the mannerisms and behavior, is this a big jump you've seen compared to like other decades of your life?
It's a big jump from, I was born in the end of the 1950s. So in the 1960s, I still went to the little house with wooden floors shack that was an old time candy store.
Oh gosh.
And so I was brought up, where no matter what store you went in, people were so nice and kind, and they just that's what I was brought up in. And I slowly see it changing. But the biggest impact has been probably, I'm 64 now, so I would say it like fast forwarded. It slowly got worse and worse with those kind of things. And then it just took a deep dive.
Okay.
When I was about, I want to say 40, 45.
Okay.
Then it was just like things are just really changing. And even my grandmother was just, I would say something and she'd say, now, Charla, things are changing and people just don't care anymore. And it's
Yeah,
sad.
it is sad.
It's sad to see. We need to bring humanity back.
Yes.
And care about, and I know that a lot of people do. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about, people
Generalizing. Yeah.
Yeah, that there's a lot of people that need to stop and really think, including me.
Mhm.
I mean, I find myself doing the same thing. And then I'm like, what the heck are you doing?
Well, it's hard not to, and it's what you're surrounded by. Because
Exactly.
you're going to conform to your surroundings in one way or another.
Exactly.
Some degree or not, whether you want to or not.
Exactly. And then I feel so, like, I know one time I walked out of the grocery store and I was headed to my car and I had a bunch of my mind, and I think I had this paper. I had a doctor's appointment I needed to go to, and I whipped it out because I forgot what time it was. And I realized when I looked up, I was walking down the middle of the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what you don't like, and you're doing it. So I know we all done it.
We all slip up, of course. Even when manners were at their best, there were people who made mistakes.
Right.
Even in the 50s.
Right. And we just need to know, to do our best to be aware and try to be better. There's also the Walmart. It's got an exit door and an enter door. And the last few years, people have been going in and out any door they wanted. It used to be a long time ago to where
it wouldn't open from that side, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you couldn't go in the exit door. But I have noticed this past year, it is changing.
Yeah.
I've noticed that more people are actually, I'll see them. Just the other day, I seen it again. People come up and they're like, oh, look at the sign. And then they switch to the enter door. Yeah. So I'm seeing more and more of that.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of that is that fast life you were talking about, because they just want to go into whatever door is closest to their parking spot.
Yeah. Again, in a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hey, and
even then, sometimes the parking spot they picked was because it was closest to the front of the store, even though there are plenty of spots over towards the entrance. They're just 3 cars further there that you have to walk past.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? It starts there. I'm always, I feel like men do this a little bit more than women, but Chris is of this mindset that he needs to drive around and find the closest spot. And I'm like, I really don't care. I'd rather not waste the time driving around, and because it actually saves more time in the end.
Right.
Park towards the end of the lot and walk.
Yep.
It's not going to hurt anybody. It's nice to walk. It's exercise. It's healthy. And it starts even before you get into the parking lot. Exactly.
I like to park right next to where you return the cart.
Yep. That's what we try
I don't mind walking more, and walking's good for you. So
well, then let's talk about why we do that, because people leave their carts all over the place. Or well, then you don't have somebody who can sideswipe you on one side. But people just that's another thing, is people just leave their carts all over the place now. I see that all the time. Yeah,
that's true. Well, I want to go inside the store now, but I do want to, I told you earlier, I want to give this gal a shout out.
Oh, yes.
So I watch a lot of the channels who are people who have left Scientology and are no longer in it. And they started YouTube channels and they talk about their experience. And I watch several of them. And I just find it interesting. And I am amazed that the things that have gone on, why the FBI is not doing anything about it. But that's another story.
It is fascinating, because I wasn't interested until I heard what she had to say about it. And then I was like, oh, hook, line, and sinker. That's interesting. It's really crazy. I didn't put much thought into it, except, I guess, I heard it was crazy. When I heard details, I was like, oh, it's like that.
Yeah, see, nobody.
It's culty.
Most people are like that. It's like, they've probably heard of it because of Tom Cruise
Yeah.
is a Scientologist.
Tabloids and
Yeah,
Hollywood
but besides that, they don't give it much thought.
Mhm.
But thank God, all these people who have left Scientology have been speaking
Mhm.
out, and YouTube is a really good way to help people understand
Yeah.
what it's like, what they've went through. Anyway, there's this one gal. She goes by Relatable Reese, and I will say that she's not necessarily everyone's cup of tea. She says sometimes some things that make me uncomfortable, but I've been watching her since her very first show, and I will continue. She seems to be one of the most kindest, caring people, and she does her YouTube channel. She talks about the Scientology stuff, but then on another one, she'll talk about makeup and certain kinds of facial cream and lipstick and where she gets these different clothing. And you never know where she's going to take her subject.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times she doesn't even put down a subject or a title for any particular video. She calls her subscribers friends, and she treats them like friends.
Mm-hmm.
She has gotten to know people and who are on the chat.
So she actually cares.
She does care. She interacts.
People. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and she remembers. If she'll remember people. Oh, so and so. I believe I haven't seen you in quite a while. What you been up to, babe?
Nice. That's hard to find in the internet world.
Yes, and she's just
speaking of manners.
Exactly. And I remember messaging her, and she doesn't just answer super chats. People have a question or a statement. She
answers everybody equally.
Well, yeah, she can't get to everybody because her channel has grown quite a bit. Okay. But she gets to most people, and she's gotten back to me. But I told her, I think about a week ago, I said, I don't remember life before Reese. She's just so funny. She makes me laugh. And let's just say one day there was a change of clothing involved. I was laughing so hard. Anyway, she had a story about one of these, one of her favorite stores that she goes into now and then. And she was in this store, and she's a chatty person just like me, she talks to everybody. And she was talking to, I believe it was the manager, and they were going around the store, and she was just, they were chatting it up and everything. And she grabbed, I don't know, one or two items, and she left the store. Then she found out that they had a 20% off in the store.
After she left.
Yes.
Okay.
And she's like, are you kidding me? There was no like sign that said it. Yeah. And she had just spent almost an hour talking to this manager.
Who didn't say anything about it.
This girl, Relatable Reese, she just seems like, she likes to talk, and she could just befriend you and just, she can talk for an hour and get to know you. She's just awesome.
So like us.
But yes. And so she was like, wow. And then she asked her husband, she says, can we go back, now that she knows that there's 20% off?
Get that discount.
Actually, she found that out when she was leaving the store, but she had to go. So anyway, she came back. Then I think it was the next day, and she went in, and
I've actually done that before.
Yeah,
at a store, and they are supposed to honor whatever discount you have at the time of the sale, whether they did at the register or not. They're supposed to honor it if you come back.
Well, the sale was still going on, and she had gotten a sale price. So I'm not sure if I remember exactly what she was saying. I think she found out at the register, but she had to go.
Oh, okay.
And then so she stopped back in there thinking she'd grab something, and then she was also talking to the manager again or something, and she figured, at 20% off, even though I don't need this and this and that, I'm still going to get it because that's a good price.
That's
and
what we
she
all do.
spent a lot of money in there, gets up to the cash register, and she's been talking to the manager. She gets up to the cash register, and they told her, sorry, you got the discount yesterday. You don't get it again. And she told everybody on her channel.
That doesn't make any sense. It's not like it was a coupon.
Oh, I know.
That would only make sense if you had a 20% off coupon and
I know.
you used it. That is what?
I know. So, and she
they're
brought
not
it up.
Remember everybody that's gone through there either.
They do. Your name comes up, I guess, because your
card payment. And
card
stuff like
payment,
that?
I guess. But she talked about it on her channel, and somebody says, "Take it back, take it all back." And other people were saying, well, tell the manager, I didn't know this, and I just spent like an hour in your store getting all this stuff, things that I really didn't need, but
not necessities, but
because
they enjoy having them.
Well, the manager gal was like, here, you should try this and this and this. You can go on her channel and listen to her tell the story. But I thought, that is crazy.
Yeah.
And she is, or has already decided she's going to take that stuff back. Good. And well, she should.
Yeah, she should. Absolutely.
So I thought that was pretty bad. But that goes to show you how customer service can be. They, they need to be, the workers need to make sure the customers are aware. There may be signs everywhere, but unless they're big neon in your face, a lot of people might not realize it.
Yeah.
I don't get the ads. I don't pay attention to them. And
well, between paper ads and then we have the internet, and then every business has Facebook and social media. They have their website.
Right. But what happened
now? But you would think if they did have a sale like that, it should say one time only.
Well, yeah.
Customer.
That is true.
Big lettering.
Yeah.
And I'm betting it didn't. I'm betting it was in small.
Oh, she didn't even see it.
Yeah.
And so but here's the thing. I remember a time where, and it's still supposed to happen, when people come up to the register at Hy-Vee, wherever, clothing stores, the stores in the mall, if they've got a special, they're supposed to say, did you see, we have a deal
for 3 on,
yes,
3 for the price of 2 on jeans, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, because I used to go. Yes, it's a good point, because I used to go shopping like at the mall and stuff. That everything's online now, but that happened to me all the time, because I would need jeans, whatever, and I would go into a store and buy 2 pair, and then they would say, "Did you know you get?" Then they would say, "Oh, you can get 3 for the price of 2," and they would wait while I went and picked out a 3rd one and brought it back. I didn't get told about a deal. That didn't happen. Yep. And I worked in a small co-op grocery store in Lincoln, and we were instructed to tell customers, "Hey, did you hear about this deal?" So if they've already got, what basically, if I didn't tell them, the store wouldn't lose product. If I did tell them, the store lost more product for the same price.
Yeah.
But they wanted their customers to get the deal.
Yeah.
And they wanted them to know about it. And I feel like you're right. Businesses don't care about that anymore.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Well, I think the businesses do. It's the workers. I think, like when I was growing up, the kids were taught. They were taught hard work. They were taught you know, my grandfather owned a farm and feed supply store, and I spent a lot of time in that store with him, and I seen how he treated his customers.
Yeah.
He let people know, hey, today I've got this sale going on. Himself, the owner, is out there.
Yeah.
You know, and but making the employees aware, and then sometimes the younger ones just coming into the workforce. You know, I remember someone once said to my friend who bought a catering company and hired, you know, teenagers.
Yeah.
And
was this
she would,
recent-ish?
this was many years
okay.
ago. And she came up to me one day and she was so frustrated. She's like, they're not doing this, and they're just, you know, they just weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And the person she bought the business from happened to be there, and she said, well, look, when it comes to teenagers, you cannot just hand them a broom and say sweep. You actually got to show them. And she was talking about kids who's never worked at a place of business. And I think that that is lacking. I don't think that they get a proper set down, and this is how this is how it needs to be, and you need to be. And if you're not sure, ask, but make sure that no customer in our little clothing store leaves here without knowing all the sales, knowing what's going on, upcoming sales, the end of this sale. Just give them the information verbally.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I wonder if some of that comes from because I know my boyfriend's place of work has the most terrible training process, and that they don't, they come out of 2 weeks of training. It's CSR with insurance company. They come out of 2 weeks of training and they don't know how to do half of what they're supposed to do for their job. And it's not long enough training, and it doesn't go deep enough. And I wonder if some of that comes from, we're in a day and age where everybody's gotten used to, you can know whatever you want when you want, just look it up. So, you know what I mean?
That could be because
it's that mindset of, well, they can figure it out. We've got that mindset in general. Well, they can figure it out because they can look it up. And maybe that's spilling over into the workplace without people even knowing they're subconsciously
and that is BS.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It is. Yeah.
And I cannot, I'm okay. I'm not cussing. But you just, you know, companies need to take responsibility and give people the proper training. I hear about so much of this in different fields.
Yeah.
And it is so,
it's
I would have walked out. I would have walked out. I had a friend who just was given a book and said, you know, we got all these, you know, over 1,000 new codes in medical billing. Here you go.
That sounds like my boyfriend's job and how they handle things.
It's just crazy.
And they do have people walking out. It's a revolving door, and they have either 2/3 or 3/4 of the employees they used to have, since they've gotten worse with that. No one wants to be there, and the pay's not good enough to make you want to stay anyways. They're just cutting corners, and it really is a lot of it is just the being quick. People want to just be quick at their job.
Yeah.
They want to go in, do what they mindlessly do every day, go home. And they don't want to have to overthink, and they don't want to have to put in extra effort. And they don't, you know, that extra effort to train somebody else is just a lot of work. So put it off on somebody else. And businesses are starting to fail, and a lot of it's because of that. And and they don't seem to care or understand that that's what it is. That's what's weird.
And it's a shame, because the satisfaction, I mean, I was always I will pat myself on the back. I was always really good at customer service. One, because I'm just a nice person, and but I knew what I had to do, and the satisfaction of helping somebody, of accomplishing various things. And I don't think a lot of people, as far as the workers go, understand that it's more than just a job. You know, you might be just sweeping a floor, but you do it well, and you get that sense of satisfaction. And, you know,
well, especially like with helping people. And I don't know where we lost this in our society, but as soon as I realized, and sometimes, you know, I always kind of wonder if this comes from a place of insecurity. Well, I can't make that big of a difference. I can't be. But no matter who you are, you can make someone's day. And that can be just holding the door open for the one person who doesn't have a friend in the world to talk to, or smiling at the new mom who's struggling and she's out of the house for the first time, because you never know what other people are going through.
That is true.
And it's the satisfaction you get from just doing those little things all day long. You do know eventually you help someone's day just get better. At some point. And if it takes 20 people that you're being nice to get that one person whose day you actually made better, that matters. And I feel like people don't think about that or care about that anymore. Or maybe they're not taught that, because we're so me, fast, me, fast.
There is a saying,
and you're missing out on the most beautiful thing in life.
Exactly. And there's a saying, it is, how's it go? No matter how small the thing that you do, or the act, is never wasted. That kindness is never wasted. You may not see the results.
Exactly.
It may be someone you don't even know that you made feel better that day, made their day. I mean, I've had people make my whole day.
See, and that's where I thought about that, and I got out of the mindset of, oh, I can't make a difference. Because I would sit there and have a bad day, and then I would go into a gas station to buy something, and the clerk would be so nice, make me smart, laugh, and I'd be like, oh, that feels better. I've had a better day, you know? And it's like, if you can be made to feel better by just a small act of kindness from a stranger, you can be that stranger for other people.
Can we sing on here?
I don't
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
I don't think we're allowed to sing songs, or they'll take me down.
I think you can
take
sing.
Me down.
I think you can sing. You can cover it, but you can't play the original on there, because then it's copyrighted.
I have no idea. My luck, I'll do it all wrong. Yes, I'm new at this. And hey, have you noticed microphones? I noticed that when Randy and I did a video on our ghost stories, you can hear us, but the volume is very low. And so I'm like, I got to get mics. About it. Yes.
They're so nice. They're so helpful. I got some, but I don't know what happened, but I lost my ability to Bluetooth somehow. I don't know what I'm doing, but
she has a better chance than me. I'm older than her, and I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
I'm gonna go back in there and make my microphones.
And when are you gonna start your YouTube channel?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to be on YouTube. I don't know.
Well, then you'll be stuck coming up here and doing videos with me.
You have me. You have the YouTube rights to me.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, because trying to get my grandkids would love it, but the ones that would really love it live in Utah. And so
where you're going soon.
Yes, I'm taking a train out to Utah for Christmas, and I'll be there until around the first week of January. And I got a new selfie stick with a gimbal. So as soon as her boyfriend figures it out for me, I am going to...
I'll throw my mics in there while he's at it.
Yeah.
So he can figure it all out for us.
But I'm going to, how do you say?
Oh, document.
Document. Thank you.
There you go. Yes.
This is why I need her.
Well, we both have brain
Document.
fog. We just help each other when the other one's having issues.
So yeah, document my whole train trip.
Mm-hmm.
Not
I
to
think
mention,
that's cool because a lot of people haven't. I've never ridden a train, so I think that that's super cool because
I tell you,
I don't
it
know
is
what it's
fun if you can afford even the smallest little room.
uh-huh.
And I have done that once with two of my grandkids when they were smaller and we could all fit in there.
Okay.
It's got a bunk bed. It's small, but it's
Okay.
got a bunk bed that comes down, and
I
then
think I've seen that on movies.
yeah, and I would love, I mean, if you can take those, they are the most, it's just a comfortable ride.
Really?
Otherwise, I have to
when I'm
go.
driving far, like when we have a long road trip. It just
Do
is
you?
kind of stressful. Yeah, just because both my parents were injured in car accidents, and like they're so prevalent. And I know
Yeah.
it's safer to fly, but then flying is so expensive now, and
It is true, and the train is cheap.
the train is in. We're bringing the train in
Right.
style. It's coming in.
And let me tell you, I mean, the trip I'm taking from Nebraska to Salt Lake, we have a short layover in Denver, and then after you get up into the mountains past Winter Park, you get into some complete wilderness where the only way to get there is by maybe by horseback,
Okay.
or a helicopter, because it's
wow.
way in the wilderness, so you can't get there by any kind of vehicle.
Wow.
And we've seen
You get a first-hand look.
huge eagle nests. There's one that they believe would not, and this was years ago, that had stopped being used, and they doubt it would be used again, but I still see it. I haven't seen an eagle in it, but I've seen many eagles.
That's so cool.
It's just the beautiful stuff. I would love to get on a train, take it all the way. Actually, I'd like to go straight to California, and maybe stop along the way if I want to stop in towns I've never been to.
Yeah.
And then get on the southern track.
That goes up.
That goes the southern.
Area, up.
No,
Southern.
I mean across the United States, in the southern part of the United States.
Yeah.
And then come up to Chicago, which I've never, well, I had a layover when I flew there one time. But I would like to take some time and see the mobster mafia.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
I mean, that would be a load of fun.
Yeah.
But I would not do it unless I can afford to get the cheapest single room they have.
Yeah.
I think it's what it's called, a roomette.
Okay.
I would love to do that.
That would be fun. I'll go with you.
I'm a poor girl. Do you got money?
Nope. That's what this YouTube thing's for, right? You're gonna start.
Hey, well, first of all, I mean, you need 1,000 subscribers. It's my understanding before you can get monetized. But
TikTok is 10,000.
Eventually, I mean, it might take me 2 or 3 years, but eventually I'll get 1,000.
You'll get there.
I know, because my videos will be better.
And replay you saying this.
Yes.
Then.
And when I get monetized, the first thing I want to do is get better equipment. That's what I want to get, because actually I want to keep. I was afraid to do this, and as time goes on, the more I do, the more I'm loosening up, and the more I'm liking it, which is surprising to me. It is interesting.
I am too. Now that I'm feeling more comfortable.
Even you're loosening up since our first video together.
Yeah, so I'm having fun.
It's the mic.
It is. It makes you feel like you're meant to be doing this and talking.
We're stars. Hello.
That's so funny, and the fact that we're both we have anxiety and deathly afraid of public speaking.
Definitely,
Like,
yes.
but then we're fine with this. So
well,
I
I'm
love
fine in
it.
a living room.
Yeah.
I call myself a living room person. I mean,
You're a living room star.
I can, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I'm a lot more outgoing. Shout out to my best friend Brenda, who I've been best friends with for well over 30 years. And even though we've lived apart for many years, you know, we've still seen each other from time to time, and we keep in contact. And she brought me out of my shell, because before I met her,
Mm-hmm.
I was still shy, and I met her after my divorce, but I was still
Okay.
shy. And when I first met her, she was the mother of one of my daughter's friends that she made in school.
Oh, okay.
And they brought her to my house after school. You got to meet so and so's mom. And I met her, and I'm like, yeah, she seems kind of boring to me. And I was in my late 20s, and so and then she said something about going out. Our first time going out, I think, was for Halloween.
Okay.
And I thought, okay. She showed up at my door dressed as the sexiest devil you've ever seen. And I'm just like, and we went out that night. No, boring is not how you would describe her. And, you know, earlier I said that Relatable Reese sometimes says things that makes me blush. It makes me a little uncomfortable. Well, that's my best friend Brenda. She makes me feel uncomfortable a lot. That's okay, because I love her. I love her to death.
That's so healthy, though.
She just loves to embarrass me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still good for you.
Yeah. Well,
that's what's healthy. Healthy friendships are the ones where you push each other to go past your comfortability level.
Oh, yes.
Learn.
And Brenda absolutely has done that. And
my best friends is the very same kind of friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't announced this yet. I think I've told you.
I think you've told me.
So I have 7 grandchildren, and 6 of them are girls. And my oldest granddaughter is having her and her man are having their first child together. And I am going to be a great grandma come June, July.
A great mama.
A great grandma. Mama.
A great mama.
Yes. That's why my channel is named Mama's Life, because I've never been called grandma. I've always been called Mama.
Yep.
And so I am Mama, and this is my life.
That's awesome.
Welcome to my life. So,
congratulations.
Anyway,
that's so exciting.
Yes, I'm going to be a great grandmother, and she will be on. We're going to do videos.
Yeah.
When I'm in Utah.
Oh, that's going to be so great.
Yeah, because I tumble rocks, and I'm going to start making some jewelry out of rocks.
Oh, you're going to find a lot of stuff.
Well, I'm waiting for a family member to buy me a rock saw, because I can't afford to buy this stuff.
Oh, yeah. I guess.
Yeah, so.
Lots of stuff.
My family's, when my family can, they help me out with that kind of stuff.
Same.
And so there is a place in Utah that's got really cool, a place where I can get some really cool rock.
Yeah.
That will polish up and make.
Be beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Make
you can
pretty
find stuff
pendants.
Here in Nebraska, but not like when you get out to that way westward.
Yes,
you're gonna find a lot more cool rocks.
It's like the guy at the rock shop said, you know, people don't think there's agates in Nebraska, but because of the glaciers a long time ago, they pushed that stuff down here. So I actually found 2 pieces of red jasper.
Yeah.
And
that's just picking up the hobby how long ago?
That was in like a rock garden, somebody's rock garden, my daughter's place. Yeah.
Like landscape stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So you never know where you're gonna.
And you started looking how long ago now? Looking at rocks, and when did you start using the tumbler?
I want to say, well, my sister bought me the tumbler, bless her heart, and she bought me the grit.
Nice.
And I don't know because she bought me the hobby kit that came with 2 boxes of extra rocks and extra grit. But the grit that came with it, I did the whole
as well as you
it didn't. Yeah, my rocks weren't polished at all. So my sister, I follow Michigan Rocks, the guy that does that. He did this. He did a review of this same tumbler, and he said the grit that comes with it is crap. Don't follow it. So I wrote down the exact grit that he uses and how much and everything.
What brand of rock tumbler is that? In case anyone's watching.
National Geographic.
National Geographic.
Yeah.
So
and there's nothing.
Is great.
The tumbler's
grit
great.
That comes with it is trash.
Yep. Just throw it out.
Okay.
And watch Michigan Rocks. He'll tell you how to use what grit to buy. And my sister bought me the grit. And so right now I'm on my first batch technically, and I have 2 or 3 more days until my first batch is polished and finished.
Oh, that's exciting.
I know.
And my daughter's going to want to come see.
Yeah.
She was showing them to my daughter.
I've got. Here's some.
Yeah. There's so much stuff, and I'm just
surprised by
the stuff you found.
I can get 2 capuchins out of that.
That is so cool.
Plus with some extra stones. So.
And I've been sitting here like a dingus buying rocks for way too much money. It's when I can find them and tumble them.
Don't do that. I know. I'll give you some.
Well, I already bought them like 2 years ago at the beginning of COVID. I was like, help! These rocks will save me and make.
Were they tumbled? Were they polished?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them were. I have some raw stuff and some tumbled stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I could have just waited. And
do you need to borrow my tumbler?
I might need to. I'm really interested.
If you're going to do it, you need to do it while I'm gone.
Oh, that's
because
true.
When I get back, it's going to
keep going and going and going.
Yeah, eventually I want to get a double tumbler.
Okay.
And that way I'll have 3 like drums.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and even if we don't use it, I know that I'm sure that if Calypso, my daughter, finds a rock, you could toss it in with one of your batches. Your next batch. Yeah. Because she's excited about that and wants to.
My next batch will be when I get back. Okay. So,
New year, new rocks.
Yes. New year, new rocks. So anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, well, I mean, we were generally talking about manners and stuff. And I think there's something I was thinking about earlier, and that's the fact that Gen Z doesn't party, and I'll tell you how this ties into it. They don't party like the rest of us generations did.
Who?
Gen Z. The teenagers today.
I don't know that talk.
So I'm a millennial. So then the next generation, like JC, not you, JC, you're cool, is part of the Gen Z generation. And I'm just generalizing. Obviously, there's some cool Gen Zs out there.
Right.
But the lack of manners in Gen Z is really, and they're in their 20s now too. So yeah. That's where I'm really seeing the manners just go down. And I think a lot of it is for a multitude of reasons. Social media, which has made them more comfortable with just being a-holes behind a keyboard, which slowly is going to make you more comfortable with being an a-hole off the keyboard.
Yeah.
And so there's that. And then the second thing is that they are so strapped into social media. We live in a college town, and back in my day, in my early 20s, it was a party. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday downtown. the sidewalks were full, and you'd have to take turns to cross the road. It was so full of people.
I remember those days.
Yeah, right. You do too. I was gonna say, I'm sure that back in your day, you had some fun too. And
oh yeah,
yeah. And since my boyfriend and my daughter's 8, but since having her and then trying to go out just on a date night or downtown, it's so dead. And the first 2 times we were like, this is weird. It must just be a bad night. It must be an off night. Until I got on the internet and I found out that Gen Z is making fun of millennials for waving their hands in the air when they dance. And I was like, what? So you're no fun? And then I'm like, oh, and I went down the rabbit hole. It's because they're so stuck to their phones and recording all the time that they're afraid to let loose and actually get drunk and have fun and dance like no one's watching, because somebody somewhere is recording.
Right. And we are not saying get drunk and drive.
No. Get an Uber.
Be responsible.
Yes. Drink responsibly.
No, I get your point. I get your point.
So are they? Then they're not even.
They're losing
socializing all those nights a week with people.
That's exactly. Unfortunately, it's the same old saying that goes way back, even before my time. Mm-hmm. You take something gets invented, so you take 5 steps forward and then you take 10 steps back, because you can't. When people invent new things, they need to really sit back and cover, okay, so we're getting into the computers. Now we're getting into cell phones. Now we're getting into these iPads and YouTubes and all this social media stuff. So when people invent new things, computers, cell phones, iPads, and then all the social media stuff comes about, they don't stop and think about the effects that this is going to have. And it does boil down to parents. Mm-hmm. I know that my daughter and son-in-law, from the moment they first had children, of course, they didn't have iPods yet.
Yeah.
But it was coming shortly, not too long after she started having children. But she put her foot down during the school year, 1 hour a day of electronics. And electronics included phone, TV, PlayStation, iPad, anything that was electronic. So they could watch maybe 15 minutes or half an hour of a TV show, and then they can spend a half an hour on
the computer
or something.
Watch a show.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
And then they were a little bit looser during the summer, but still they had shut off times because they wanted them to be outside. And thank God they did that, because my grandkids know how to
entertain
themselves and talk to people, and they have
interact with the
good
world.
manners and so, and then they go on things like social media, and then they see nasty comments, which is really sad. Do people not have better things to do with them lives but to down people? That's just a shame.
I don't understand that. Why, if you don't like it, just scroll. I understand sometimes when it's like a problematic post and it's politically charged, like I get why people are interacting, but there's no reason to be like just so nasty. And a lot of there's a lot of dismissal of other opinions. Okay.
Is it running?
Yes. Because it's got the square.
I forgot to look up at the top of the button. All right.
Oh, okay.
Unpause. Go ahead.
This is a blooper reel. Where was I? I lost it.
Me too.
I lost. So yeah, I've also noticed that like I said, there's a lot of dismissal of other people's opinions. A very entitled behavior that's going along with the lack of manners. The entitlement of only my opinion matters, or my group's opinion matters, or whatever. It's very dismiss everybody else who thinks differently, has another opinion. There's only one opinion that you're allowed to have, or you're going to get criticized. And that goes along with the lack of manners. It's coming about from the lack of manners, and a lot of that due to being social media and, like you said, computers and computers in our pockets all day long. Social media is just in front of our face all day long. Yep. And yeah, there's that entitlement. So not only do people leave the nasty comments, but you'll be put down just for having any opinion. Basically, someone's going to put you down and get mad at you for anything you say that's political, religion. You can do the nicest. I've even seen recently where something's going on and people will write, "Oh my God, that's so sad, thoughts and prayers," or "God bless." And then you have people coming in where a decade earlier you didn't have this. You have people coming in and replying, "Oh, your sky daddy did this to them in the first place. Thoughts and prayers don't do anything. Why are you praying for somebody?" And I'm like, what does that hurt? First of all, if you're not Christian or you're not, they could be praying. There's a lot. First of all, I don't see them doing it under other religions' posts. Just the Christians, just the Christian. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I just, when did it get bad to say that, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'll be praying for you"? Even that's the thing, even if you're not Christian.
They're trying to get God
just gone. Yeah.
And this nation was
built. Which for some people is needed in their lives, not for all people.
Right.
But some people need something in their lives to help them have the drive to help them the manners that we're even talking about. Yeah, to cope. I mean,
to cope for everything.
Yeah, for everything.
Whether it, whatever belief system somebody has, maybe there are people that say, "I have no belief." Well, they do have a belief. Mm-hmm. They don't believe in nothing.
Yeah.
But I mean, first of all, this nation, we became a nation because people were tired of being persecuted for their faith.
Yeah.
And so in this country, it says it. It says it in God we trust. Yeah. Our nation was built on that. Now, with that being said, that's what makes America great, Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, we are free to
freedom
be who we are, freedom to practice whatever faith we want to practice, as long as obviously
we're not hurting anybody or
And so people need to be more respectful. If I don't agree with something like somebody's faith, I'm happy they have a faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm certainly not, I don't ever down anybody for what their faith is.
Exactly.
Unless it's, I have no use for cults. But for the mainstream, even
Islam, we're gonna talk about would be Scientology.
Yeah.
They can get all the mean talk.
Even Islam, I had a friend who I met when I was in college in my early 40s, and she was just so nice, and she wore the whole, and I never saw her hair or, never saw her with makeup, but she started to invite me and my daughters to her place. Her father was an artist, and I was amazed at his work.
Really?
Oh, yeah. But in order for me to come over, it was always on a Saturday, and I could not enter the house with the men home unless I was completely covered too. And so this is what I love about it. I would have covered.
Yeah.
I would have had no problem because she was my friend, and
You were respecting
I
her
exactly
religion, her family, and their
But
home.
she told me, she says, well, our family likes to go swimming. And so I don't know if they went to the Y or not. This was just, they went someplace. So on one Saturday, it was all the men, it was for men. And then the next Saturday, it alternated, was swimming just for women.
Oh.
And so when it was swimming just for men, it was an indoor place.
Okay.
That's the day I could come over.
Because there were no men in the house.
Yes.
So you didn't have to worry about covering.
Yes. And I remember coming into going over there. I didn't have the kids with me the first time. And she opened the door and I about fell over.
You saw her hair, didn't you?
Oh, she had long, beautiful hair. She had makeup on and like some blue eyeshadow. And she had on this beautiful blue skirt. And I mean, all the women in her family, her sister and
all
her mother, they're
all
yes.
beautiful. Oh, that's so
and
cool.
It was like, oh my gosh. But I understand why they cover up. It's, you know, there's more to it. It is technically a beautiful thing. You know, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter what you look like in, you know, that you can go put on some makeup and, you know, turn into a hot babe. You know, it should matter who you are. And that, you know, yes, we all like the physical, attraction. You know, we see someone, hey, we like the way they look. So you might notice that I'm wearing something different because yesterday we actually did this recording and for some reason my phone stopped recording. We'd try to reset it and it just wouldn't record anymore. Don't know what happened. So we're just going to wrap up this video and finish it up.
I'm wearing the same clothes because I just wear the same clothes all the time. I think so. Where we left off was basically that, you know, it's what's on the inside that counts, and that's what matters with people. And that's right. And I think that ties in with the manners in society because we've gotten so wrapped up in the fast life and me and looks and things like that we forget to have our manners out in public because those are people too.
There's a word for that. It's called me-itis.
That's yes, 100%. Yeah. So I think that that's probably the biggest takeaway here is that no matter the age group or you know where you're from, what your background is, that there are a lot of people out there that are struggling or just need somebody to smile at them when you walk past or open the door. And eventually you're going to make someone's day and feel good about it. So,
yeah. And that's why at the end of all my videos, I say, always be kind. Remember to be kind. But I do want to say one thing.
Okay.
I went to CVS pharmacy today because I needed to pick up a couple things.
Okay.
And I get up to the register and there is a young gal that works there. And she said, oh, by the way, this is buy one, get the second one for half off.
No way.
And I'm just like, I'm going to mention you in a video I'm finishing up today.
That's so fun. Maybe your phone messed up for a reason.
Possibly, but her name was Emma, and she was very good at her job, and plus before that she was very helpful. So
she sounds delightful.
Yes,
that's what we need. We need more Emmas in the world.
Yes,
that's perfect. Yeah, maybe I think your phone died to show you give us hope, to give your viewers hope.
Yes, and always have hope. Never give up.
That's right.
So, well, we are going to wrap this up, and we again thank you for joining us. And I will be making another video, like I said before, documenting my train trip. But I want y'all to have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Don't know any of the other ones, but Happy holidays. And always remember to be kind.
Be kind. That's